Good afternoon, good morning, good night, good any time of the day. It is Monday, May 8th. We are living in the future, May 8th, 2023. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. My name is Kellam, and welcome to the show. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We had a little bit of volatility come out at the end of the weekend, right? We had a little bit of a pullback. Does that mean crypto is crashing? Well, we're going to talk about that today. Because, again, it all comes down to the time frames we're looking at. If we're looking at the 15-minute chart, then, man, Bitcoin has crashed, and altcoins, oh, my God, it's crashing so bad. Then, again, if we look at the larger time frames, we are right in line with an incredible, necessary bit of a pullback, a bit of a health cleanse every time we have market movement. Whether it's not just, you can't just have to the upside, but when you have market movement to the upside out of a downtrend, then you're reclaiming some of that liquidity on the way up. And if we're going just up, up and away, at some point, price has to come back down. And if you don't get that, then I definitely recommend that you do not trade until you do quite a few more hours of just diligence and homework and practicing and just really diving into market cycles and looking at how those market cycles play out. We're going to be going over a lot of charts today. We've got a huge announcement for the BitLab Academy, the actual Academy content that we've been working on. I'll get into that in a bit. But first, I wanted to say, have you hit that like button? Have you hit that subscribe button? Have you ding, ding, ding that bell? Get involved with the channel. Get involved with our community. We have a wonderful, wonderful, empowering community. So how is everybody doing today? Throw a 1 in chat if you're feeling good. Throw a 2 in chat if you just haven't had your morning coffee yet, but you're gonna feel good. Put a 3 in chat if you're not feeling that great. Maybe one of us can reach out to you, somebody here in the community. Connect with people. This is about community. It's not just about charts. It's not just about TA. It's not just about targets. Now, while we do break down chart, TA, and targets, we also break down strategy and how to arrive at the ability to look at the charts like I do or like any of the other analysts that you see online. Because we want to make sure that you have the skills necessary, we want to make sure that you have the skills necessary to dominate these markets so you can pull up a chart no matter the asset and understand what's going on and what tools are available to you, so that you can navigate this in a healthy way, in a confident way. Because if you're not trading confidently, then you're probably missing out on a little bit. You need to do a little bit more homework on that asset. If you're jumping because somebody else, you saw Crypto Face take a trade, or you saw, Frankie Candles take a trade, or I call out a specific trade signal, and you're just taking a jump because you're following the leader, then you're not doing what's best for your own portfolio. On this channel, we bridge that gap from beginner to pro. We break down a lot of advanced strategies, but we throw that rope back so that you can understand what's going on. So shout out to everybody here in chat early. I want to let you all know, first off, how thankful I am to build this community with you all. We have 70 people in here. Have you hit the like button? Have you hit that subscribe button? The earlier you hit that like and subscribe in the stream, the better, the more help it does for channels like this to let YouTube know that you're interested in crypto content, not just this channel alone, but it lets YouTube, which is now technically a mainstream media outlet because so many hundreds of millions of people use it and watch it. By getting involved, hitting all those emojis down there, driving engagement with this channel, you're not only letting YouTube know you like crypto content in your media, but you also like this channel. So get involved. Now, I just want to shout out everybody in the room. We got Creighton C, Brad Guidell, Learning, Unforgettable Name, 84 Reckless. Hey, I was born in 84 and I've been reckless most of my life. That's why I nearly died in 2 different motorcycle accidents. 1 motorcycle accident, actually. And then I lived in Thailand and we had, the only way to get around was scooters. So people would always say, well, why'd you get on the second one? Well, I'm not going to freaking walk, okay? Mind your business. Now, you know what? I learned a lot from those accidents, though. I learned about the value of life. I learned about the value of going after what it is you believe in, because if you don't do it now, then maybe you won't do it. I saw a short video on, I don't know if it was Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I don't know where it was. It was one of the millions of social media sites we're all on. It was essentially about a guy who had a fight with his wife the night before, and he goes into work and he's a little off during the day. And now don't worry, we're going to be getting into a lot of crypto content, but I think this is important. Got in a fight with his wife. He goes to work, and his buddy asks him, you seem a little off today. What's going on? He's like, oh, well, I got a fight with my wife, and I haven't talked yet, but it's okay. You know, I'm going to sort it out when I get home. And his friend said, well, who told you that? And he's like, well, what do you mean? He goes, who told you you're going to make it home? We have to do the actions that we need, that we believe in. We have to share our truth. We have to pull the trigger on making decisions, whether investments and trade or with the people in our lives. We have to do it now, because later is only pushing the issue further away. Later is only pushing the opportunity further out of grasp. Now is when you take hold of your life. Now is when you take advantage of the schools, the ambition, the passion that you have within you to take control of your life. So that's my little morning start of the week, a little bit of encouragement. Let's go after the shit that we believe in. I apologize about the language, but we've got to go after what it is we believe in. Now, continuing on here, Alexandra G, how you doing? Matt C, my boy. Matt C, have you decided if you're going to Bitcoin Miami or not? If you're going to Bitcoin Miami, throw in hashtag Miami in the chat. I want to see, I'd love to throw in a bit of a meetup while we're there. I'd love to see some of you out and about, in Miami and at the conference. I will be there with a good bit of the rest of the Hit Network crew. But I just want to make sure that we are not only strangers online, that sometimes you watch the channel and sometimes I see your numbers on a screen. I'd love to shake hands, give hugs, meet people in person and talk about what's going on in our lives, because it's not just about the charts. The charts are yet but one tool of something that we can utilize, these assets, this digital ecosystem. If we know how to navigate this in a good way, then maybe we can use this to enhance our life, and not only our lives, but enhance our life in such a way that we can enhance our friends and families' lives. Be able to give that $100 bill to the homeless guy. Be able to donate to other charities. It's not just about making money so you can buy a car. It's about living a damn good life. So let's do it. We got Total Clinic Solutions in here. Karen Swigart Harris. Karen, you've been here for day one, and I really appreciate you. Total Clinic Solutions as well. I appreciate you. CL, Crimson Caravan Company, Brad Guidell. We got my boy Alex Green in the house. I'm sure he's somewhere in here. Crimson Caravan Company. I said you. King Peasant, Crypto Kid, Crypto 420, Creighton C, Brian Major, Brian Mavor, Brokoshi No Dinero, best name in the crypto ecosystem. Gia S, always in the house. Thank you so much for being here. Blazing 2 J's. That's all I got for right now. Let's go ahead and jump into the Justin Eubanks. How you doing? I think I saw Elliot Locke in here as well. I'm not sure. Tenacious B. Well, we got 121 people in the room, 53 likes. Let's get these over 100 likes. Come on, all of you hit that like button. Let's drive this early. It helps the engagement early on in the stream. I've got a lot of huge announcements today. I'm going to share a really a special sort of coupon code for y'all to get involved with BitLab, because we have got some big announcements about that. I think today is the day. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in here. Now, first things first, make sure you come over and give me a follow. I found about 15 more fake accounts of me. Make sure you're following the correct name, which is at Kelly Kellam, KELOYKELLAM. And of course, if you have not yet come and followed BitLab Academy, do it. I say, do it now, good sir and young lass. At Academy BitLab, come give us a follow. And when you follow us, make sure you come and retweet the daily tweet. Follow us, hit that. Look at it. People are already catching on what you need to do, because it's not just about helping build this community. By doing this, we're also basically giving giveaways each week. And I believe that at the end of this stream, I have to do a giveaway. And we're going to double. Yeah, we're going to do a giveaway for last week, because we didn't do it on Friday. We got 21 retweets now, but make sure you're following BitLab Academy, retweet, and hit that like button right here. Really helps grow the channel, helps us get that word out there. Now, what are we talking about today? Well, first off, let's go ahead and come over here. We're not going to go directly to to Bitcoin yet. Let's come over here. I want to, this is the totals. Okay. So one of the things I wanted to just start with is looking at the health of the market and what's going on. You know, it is May 8th. We're basically into the second week of what's going on in the crypto market and all markets really, in the second week of May. So let's go ahead and expand this, and let's kind of look. Let's just take a gander at what's going on here. Now, Bitcoin dominance, which is a pivotal, informative tool of analysis to help you understand what's going on, where the liquidity is flowing within the crypto ecosystem. Because again, if we come over here and come to coinmarketcap.com, we can see we are pushing up. We are over $1.2 trillion around Friday or Saturday, and we've of course fallen a little bit from that. We lost about $50 billion, which is, comparative to 1.2 trillion. It's not that much, but certain assets fall harder than others. We need to pay attention to what's going on just by regularly checking in here and sort of scrolling through the coin market cap rankings, or CoinGecko, or I think it's Coin Paprika. There's quite a few different coin market cap ranking services. And essentially, I just want to throw this back. If you already know this, stick with me here, because we're going to dive into the charts for a second. We got to let the beginners know what's going on, because we want beginners to understand how to navigate this market and make good decisions, because the more people succeed, the faster the space grows, and the quicker we can not only help our friends and family, but we can also buy that nice car. We got to do all of it, right? So we've got the higher a coin is on this coin market cap ranking, it's assumed at some level that there's a bit less risk in that. So Bitcoin is less risky than Ethereum's, less risky than BNB, is less risky than, and I say that not as an absolute, I say that more in the context of the size of and the amount of liquidity that is within each one of these ecosystems. And this ranking is done based on the market cap, which is right here. This is the total supply, the circulating supply, right? The number of tokens or the number of coins that are available out, multiplied times the current price, and you get the market cap. So if you have a market cap of 100 for instance, name it doesn't matter what it is. Say the market cap of washer asset is $100. And you see, well, how many of these are out there? Well, there's 10 out there. Well, if there's 10 of these out there and the market cap's 100, that this is priced at $10, okay? So it's very important for us to understand, as simple as that is, we need to understand how important and why we need to pay attention to market caps rather than price. So many people come in that are new and go, damn, Bitcoin's expensive. I'm going to buy, let me scroll all the way down here. I'm going to buy, something on page 6, the market cap of this is only 29 million. I've never even heard of this Steam dollars. This is only $2.47. I'm going to buy this because, man, I'm going to get this at $2 before it goes up to $28,000 like Bitcoin. Well, in this case, it's not out of the question because this only has 12 million circulating supply. But you look at something like, let's see, okay, MAP protocol. This is 1.3 cents, and there's 2.2 trillion of these. So is this going to be able to go as high as Bitcoin? Absolutely not, because there's an astronomical multiple more of this in supply than Bitcoin, which is why the price is lower. This is also why when we come back over here, let's go back to the bottom. We come back to the first page. This is why we just got to get some basics out of the way. We're going to dive into the charts. This is why you can see, for instance, Cardano at 37 cents is higher on the coin market cap rankings than Matic, than Polygon, which is 93 cents. Or Cardano, 37 cents. And we come down here, let's not do wrap Bitcoin. Cosmos, $10. Well, shouldn't this be above Cardano? No, because what this is measuring is not the price, because the price is somewhat irrelevant to an asset. A price is but one data point that you can utilize to identify targets and, based on its own historical price action history, where it is relatively overvalued or undervalued. So we can see this $10, but we can also see there's 286 million of these. So let's look at this versus Cardano. There's 286 million, and this is $10 or $11. We see Cardano is, where are we at? Cardano has 34,833 million. So there is an enormous amount more of Cardano. Now, does this make one or other better or worse? It's not really looked at that way. Now, when you get into things like Pepe coin or Shiba Inu or Dogecoin, Dogecoin prints about 21 million Dogecoin about every 35 days. Now you look at Bitcoin, there's only ever in the history or in the future, there's only a possibility of there ever only being 21 million total. And Dogecoin is printing 21 million about a little more than a month. So understanding the supply dynamics, the market cap dynamics, the tokenomics, meaning how many tokens are available, what is the emission schedule, meaning how new coins are released, because currently Bitcoin, there will be 21 million total in about 117 more years, 2140, but there's only 19 million now. So there's an emission schedule, which is what we know as the miner rewards. And so we can programmatically and systematically understand what the inflation rate's going to be, because is this supposed to be a hedge against inflation? People would really like it to be. And I think at some point it will be, but we also have to understand that doesn't mean Bitcoin doesn't have inflation. It does have inflation. It's just programmed in, and it's programmed in such a way that it reduces by half every 3 years and about 3 years and 10 months, or more specifically, every 210,000 blocks. Now, the beginning of this video, I wanted to do specifically for beginners before we dive into the charts for you intermediates and you pros, all the people, you OGs, because we get people from all different, basically all different segments of experience within the crypto ecosystem watching this channel. But we got to remember, we've got to break down the basics on a regular basis, because there may be 10 people watching right now for the first time that they've ever watched any content on Bitcoin, on blockchain, on digital assets. And not only that, I want every single one of you to be prepared with talking points, with real ability to have healthy discourse to inform people in your own lives, your friends, your families, taxi driver, somebody, a barista at Starbucks, whoever it is that is argumentative or sure about the nonsense that they think they know because they heard it from some politician that they shouldn't even be following, about all this FUD that's within the crypto ecosystem, about what the truth is and how these things really work. I want to make sure you all have that ammunition to have that conversation with anybody that's in your life. So with that, let's jump back in here. Welcome everybody to the stream. We've got 186 people in here, and 84 of you are productive and proactive. And the other 100 of you, maybe you just have not taken the time for one split second. It really helps out the stream. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ding that bell, and we're going to get going right now. So let's go ahead and dive in and back into these charts. Let's talk about what's going on here. So Bitcoin dominance is up. We're talking about liquidity in the space. It's holding right here at this level. If we zoom out, we can see that this is dominance is basically ping-ponging right here in this channel, this basically parallel channel, and it's been doing this all the way since May 19th, 2021. I know almost every single one of you has seen me talk about this, and you've seen other people talk about this. So why are we talking about it again? Well, why do pro athletes go back to the basics over and over again? So they can perfect the most important skills. And the most important skills in crypto, the most important skills in Bitcoin, the most important skills in trading is making sure that you are fully aware of what's going on in the fundamental, basically the basis of the ecosystem. Where is liquidity going? And then we can try to speculate as to why it's going one way or the other. That's the trader's job. But first, we can look at the data and not have any speculation at all and go, okay, what is the data telling me? And right now the data is telling us, let's go ahead and turn off the indicators, and we can see right now the data is telling us that let's go to the 3-day. We see this is back, this is 2014 and previous, but this is when it was basically only Bitcoin. And then in 2013, to be fair, in 2013, I believe Ethereum, in 2013, Dogecoin was born, I believe, 2013 or 2014. Ethereum was born, started basically the genesis of it really started to take off, the seeds of it as well. And I think it was about 2015 that Ethereum came out. You all can correct me if I'm wrong, because the dates don't specifically matter. I'm just pointing out that back in this period, the dominance was so high because Bitcoin was the only wolf on the street. It was only one out there. And then the digital ecosystem really started to develop. Then we had Cardano Cardano was about 2015 as well. I believe Ethereum was definitely before Cardano, but we can see that then in 2017, we just had an absolute overwhelming slew of new altcoins, ICOs, all this huge amount of explosion in the space. And as this happened, speculation, first off, we have to understand why this chart looks like this. It wasn't that everybody didn't believe in Bitcoin anymore. We have to remember what the dynamics of the ecosystem were in 2017. In 2015 to 2017, when altcoins did start getting developed, not just having one or two, but they started just coming out in droves. The only way to get into those altcoins was to go on something like, Bitstamp or, way back in this region over here, Mount Gox and these other, there weren't as many, Bittrex. There's a handful of them back then, but the only way to get into these ICOs and these other altcoin markets was to go in and buy Bitcoin and then trade the Bitcoin for the altcoin. And so we can see as people came in and bought Bitcoin and then the ICO craze, you see this, look at this, 2017 right here. This is when everybody was selling their basically taking the liquidity that they put into the ecosystem and then, I don't want to say diverting it, but then converting it to a different asset, AKA other altcoins, buying into the other altcoin ecosystem. And we see this dominance fall all the way down here to about 35, 34%. Now, the ecosystem's changed. Tell me when the last time, anybody in the chat right now, tell me when the last time was when you wanted to buy an altcoin, you went on to an exchange, bought Bitcoin. Once you bought Bitcoin, then traded it for an altcoin. If there's even one person putting a one in here, I'd be surprised. It's very few. I'm not saying that you've held Bitcoin for a while and then traded it for an altcoin. I'm saying in order to go buy Cardano, you go and buy Bitcoin and then trade it for Cardano. No, it would be stupid now because now you're wasting transaction fees. You're wasting time. You're putting another trade at risk because every time you interact with an exchange, you are in some capacity putting yourself at some level of risk, right? So what you do now is you go to whatever exchange you're using, whether it's a Binance or BitGet or name the exchange. It doesn't matter, Coinbase. But now you can go in and buy, basically transfer into US dollars and maybe convert that to USDT or USDC and then buy. But typically, the majority of people, their purchase is directly to the asset they want, unless there is still the case, I will say, this isn't for everything because there is still the case, especially with DEXs and obscure altcoins, to have to buy Ethereum or buy something that pairs with that obscure altcoin. But I would say for the coins that are in the top 100, it's very few and far between that you have to buy something else to get that asset. So what my point is here is we understand how the ecosystem is developing, so too does the analysis of understanding how and why liquidity is flowing in certain places. And I think this is important. Although we want to know exactly what's going on with price fell, we're going to look into that. But we need to break down the deeper context of what's happening in the market and understand where liquidity is flowing and why. And we can see here with this is a new BitLab trading. This is a new BitLab indicator. There's it's a enhanced. There's a lot more to it than it's like a VPVR that has a heat map in it that as well does these basically order blocks that we can it basically calls out where there's liquidity or lack of liquidity, or basically liquidity anomalies in price. And price tends to come back to these levels. We see this right here, comes back to this level, breaks up, it comes back down, and there's a level created here. Is the price going to come down to this level? Well, we don't know yet. But we can also see right here, this red block is basically like a resistance level of liquidity because it happened at the top of this region. And we can see price bounce here, came right into this level, which is also confluence with this level that has been rejected time and time again. Now, am I going to look at this and think that price is just going to get rejected here and come and tap this liquidity? No, I'm not going to think that's going to happen. But what I do is I stack that in my knowledge. I stack that in my data set of what's going on in the space and where possible levels are. And I can see right here that just on this alone, not looking at anything else, where we have price coming to the bottom, getting rejected at the top, support at the bottom, rejected at the top, support at the bottom, work its way up to the top. if this were to continue, then this makes sense. And we have two levels here that the dominance could come back and tap these regions. Now, I'm not going to look at this and trade this specifically, but what I want to do, one, we need to know that as this is going up, it doesn't mean that just Bitcoin is going up. What this means, and I've said this before, what this means is, see, Will, what's up? How are you doing, my friend? As this is going up, this means that the Bitcoin market has more liquidity. Basically, the value of it as it relates to the rest of the crypto market is either holding better or it is moving faster up. So you can have both things happen. You can have Bitcoin and altcoin markets both moving, but Bitcoin could be moving faster than the index of the altcoin market as a whole. You might still have some, specific altcoins that are moving faster than Bitcoin, but as a whole, we can see here, this is when we look over here at the, this is, which one is this? This is total 2. So this is the entire altcoin market. We come back out to, let's go to the 3-day. This is the total market minus Bitcoin. Excuse me. And so we could see that this is sort of pushing down right here, right? While we can see over here that all coins, I mean, this is just a grouping of some of them, but we could see Bitcoin fell. This one we could see. Let's go to the daily. Dang it. Okay, we could see. Actually, let's come right here. This will be easier to understand. We could see. I want to add. It's not what I want to do. I want to see the daily. Forgot how to do it. I don't ever change this very often. Customize. Here we go. 24. A lot of changes. So we can see Bitcoin is down 2.43%, but Ethereum holding strong. BNB down 5%, XRP down 6%, Cardano down 4%, Dogecoin down 5%, Polygon. See all these, large majority of these. Okay, wrapped Bitcoin is about the same as Bitcoin. That makes sense. Litecoin, Shiba, AVAX, DAI, stablecoin makes sense. It's not. Chainlink, all these coins. Another stable-ish coin. Cosmos holding up pretty well, but we can see dominant here is that the altcoins are suffering a bit more than the. We see altcoins are suffering a bit more than falling harder than Bitcoin. And that is because Bitcoin has so much more liquidity in it that it takes more energy to move it. And there's also a lot more, I don't want to say anchors, but when there's large institutional players in the space, they can act as drivers of price up or down, but they can also act as anchors if they have price levels at or about where they want liquidity to be. So there's a lot more stability within Bitcoin. And the further you go down this, then by the way, I just realized I was looking at the 7-day here. We can look over here specifically at the 24-hour, and we can see there's a little bit of a difference, but I'll call out my error when I make one. It's okay. We all make errors. This is why you double check stuff. So, oh, my bad. Oh, no. I didn't mean to do that. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I was clicking on something on my screen and I deleted my window. So, shout out for errors. If you've ever made an error, put a 1 in chat right now. Let's be honest, we all make errors. So point being here is Bitcoin down 4%. Okay, Ethereum only down 3%. BNB only down 2.4. But then we can see the smattering. If we kind of go like this, and we do this by, if we do this by the 24-hour, Pepe coin. Everybody following that hype, down 29%. Is there an opportunity there? Maybe. Maybe we'll look at it later on. I'm not a big meme coin guy, but there's a lot of people trading this and talking about this, so I'll do that only for you all. I'm not into the meme coin game, but hey, people make money in whatever way they want to, and you know what? I support you. Render token down 13%. SWI down 2. You see this? These altcoins are getting crushed comparatively to Bitcoin. Now, on the flip side of that, if we click this on the 24 hours, we do see Stacks is up. That makes sense with everything going on in the background of what's happening in the Bitcoin ecosystem. So we see Flare up 2%. Jasmine, somebody last week was, I think it was, starts with a B. I can't remember, Barry or can't remember. Somebody was asking for Jasmine last week. We did some TA on that. Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of just, movement in the space. And should we be scared? Is crypto crashing? Well, coming back over to the charts, we come back over here to the total. We can see that first off, we've got this major sort of downtrend that was basically, this is what Bitcoin looked like as well, right? Now, somebody asked in chat, I think it was Karen Swigart Harris asked, what is the name of the beautiful new indicator? It's going to be a 3 indicator sort of series. It's all essentially somewhat the same thing, but just with different views. This is a mesopic vision. And we see this is the feather. So when you turn this on, you can set on the feather. You come here and you can set the look back period. So you can have it just at, like, for instance, 50 if you want to just look at the local trend. And it will, as the price moves along, this will move along with it. Or you can turn this off, or you can leave it on also. You can turn on the mesopic submersus, and this is basically the VPVR of whatever you're looking at. It will auto adjust to the entire screen like this, and you get your POC, you get a heat map, so you can immediately notify without even seeing the length of these bars. You know that this is going to be the point of control, the high volume region. In addition to this, then it also does order blocks. It's not going to, it doesn't do it as well, and it doesn't need to on things like a total market cap index. But you can also, I have these with different colors, so you can have them on at the same time and have the overall view where we can see, look at this. The point of control on this entire view is also the same exact point of control of where we're at right now. So hint, hint, we can see just by these two things, this is probably a pretty key level that we're sitting at right now. And we've also, reason why we've been fighting this zone. And this is the total market cap looking at everything but Bitcoin. Now, if we come out here to look at, let's go ahead and look at the futures, CME futures, to see if there's any sort of gap. So this is what I like about weekend trading when it is negative, meaning price action falling. When price action falls over the weekend, I don't want to call it a setup for bullishness, but we can see here when this moved over the weekend bullishly, this did come back and tap that liquidity. What do I mean by tap that liquidity? There is a gap here because with CME futures, you have to realize it's basically a traditional trading engagement with Bitcoin in the traditional sector. Okay. So it's trading on a schedule that it closes on Friday and opens up again Sunday night. So where if price has moved on Bitcoin over the weekend, then you get these gaps when the CME futures open. But then there's all this opportunity here that people may, these professional traders, these CME futures, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, these gaps tend to fill on like around roughly 90-ish% of the time. These gaps fill. We also see right here, this came down and then we came up in the zone, came down and filled this. We see this wick basically barely overlap the wick of this candle. Now we pushed up going into Friday and we could see as soon as we close, we had this huge gap down from when we opened on Sunday. So now we have this gap of liquidity above us, gap of price action above us that we very, I'd rather gap be above us than below us. Just let me tell you that. Because now, does this mean this is going to go up and continue? We can't know that, but we do know that price action is likely going to revisit this area in somewhat of a timely manner. There's some gaps that take a long period to get filled, but the majority of gaps tend to get filled fairly quickly. We could see a gap right here. This was April, and we got, we're on the 4-hour chart. Yeah, so this was April 7th, and then we filled it on April 20th. So about 13 days. We got the gap right here on March 19th. And that was filled on March 22nd. So we have not filled this gap yet, though. That is the one that Ben keeps talking about, BitBoy Crypto, is that we do have the possibility of price coming down all the way to this level, not only because of this, but because there's other things going on in the global economic system right now, and there's uncertainty about regulation, and there's so much going on. And who knows what countries and what institutions have or have not gotten to where they want with their exposure to Bitcoin and the digital asset ecosystem. And Tim Warren, who is now on our team here at Hit Network, who we used to work together over at Crypto Jeb, wonderful team over with I love the whole Crypto Jeb family. I love all those guys, Jeb, Smay, Tim. Shout out to all those fellas. I love them. I'm so happy to have Tim working with, that I get to work with Tim again now at Hit Network. He's going to do a great job. But Tim, used to say, when we missed the boat, retail, you and me, when we missed the boat, we missed the boat, and we just kind of have to be patient and hope that we get another opportunity that's as good. When institutions and big money miss the boat, they bring that boat back. How do they do that? Well, they can push price when we get tight areas. For instance, right here, there's going to be a pretty tight area in this zone. Let's actually go over to Bitcoin itself. And I just want to say special shout out to every one of you that's here right now. Shout out VGIB or VGI8. I'm not sure. Message retracted, but $1.99. Hey, I appreciate the what do you call it? Are there people shilling in here? What's going on? Why are there so many? Somebody in here just shilling? Don't shill. You can throw in a coin that you like. Throw a coin that you like. Great. You don't need to post it 47 times because then you just look like a jackass, okay? And we don't have that kind of stuff here on this channel. On this channel, this is about growing and learning together, and we're talking about different tools, utilities, strategies, and empowerment with each other. So, there's a call to action for each and every one of us to not be a jackass, okay? I don't know. Just monkeys. So wait, so I don't know what's going on. I'll let the mods handle that. I don't know if there's something going on with the monkeys, but shout out to the monkeys if it's for a good thing. But if they're for a bad thing, then don't have them. If it's just for fun, like lab coats, then that's all good. But don't have it be a shill for a coin. All right, Luke John, I'll definitely do optimism. But coming back here, I wanted to talk about this right here. This is, let's see, I'm getting some dings in my ear. All right, we got 264 people in here, 125 likes. Let's get those likes over 250 today. We'll give a very special giveaway. And just shout out to everybody here. I do want to just take one moment really quick before we dive into these charts. Before we do that, of course, we're going to do Bitcoin. We're going to do Ethereum. We're going to do XRP and AVAX for sure. Throw in two coins that you really would like to see some charting on, some TA, some breakdown. Throw it in right now. And if there's a bunch of people calling out those specific coins, then the mods will send me a message in the chat. But before we do that, as you all are sending in the coins that you would like to see or any specific questions you have, I do want to just take this moment to say, happy gosh darn hallelujah. I'm so darn happy. Oh, hold on a second. I just want to say I am so excited that we were at the finish line of launching all the new BitLab Academy updates. We have been working tirelessly over the last 6 or 8 months to film 100 plus new lessons, courses, build out the brand new website with the new course and lesson flow, new structure, quizzes to help track your process, resources and tools. We have an entire beginner section that's free, basically you just register for free and you have access to Bitcoin 101, Blockchain 101, self-custody, and then a selection of lessons from all the other courses. So you can get not only just a taste, but also get an understanding, at least a basic understanding as a beginner of how to understand the different tools in this space and, some basic real foundational things that you need to be aware of just as a beginner. And when you want to take your education further, you can go ahead and sign up, upgrade to all access for BitLab Academy. And the new website, which is right here, you're going to be seeing this. We are rolling this over tonight. So I'm just saying this now because I want all of you to have the opportunity to get in before we roll over, because if you get in before we roll over, you're going to keep the current price of BitLab Academy for the life of your account. And I have a special coupon code for you as well. All you need to do is come to the current BitLab Academy site, which is right here, bitlabacademy.com. It's going to be the same web address, okay? Come to this, sign up right here. And you're going to, this is actually, I wanted to surprise you all. There's actually a 30% off coupon code when you sign up right here. If you're already signed up, you check your emails because I sent the email out for you all first this weekend. There's 30% off. And it's basically 30% off your first month, but you get to keep the current price of BitLab Academy for the life of your account. And we're rolling over tonight, so I just want you to be aware. When you come to the site after like late night tonight, the site is going to be down for 12 to 24 hours. And once it's back up, it's going to be all the new content. It's going to be basically this page. We've got a nice welcome video here. You know, I can kind of... I'm so excited to share with you everything we've rebuilt from the ground up so that we can provide you with the best crypto education. And it's as easy as starting for free today by clicking that button right next to this video. Whether you're a beginner looking for basic understanding of blockchain and Bitcoin, because it is the future, we want to make sure that everybody has access to a basic education. And again, you can start for free today by clicking that button. Now, if you're a little further along your journey and you're trying to learn how to trade or new strategies or indicators or setups or on-chain data analysis, trading fundamentals, psychology of trading, we have all that in the new BitLab Academy. And we're going to be adding new content, new courses, and new resources over time as we go. We're still currently filming new stuff to be added. So get in our community, join us for free right now. Join. I'm telling you, start the best education in crypto that you could get right here in BitLab Academy with us today, and I'll see you inside. So as you can see, we have it all pulled together. We've got the new course. We've got the indicators. We've got a fact page, an FAQ, frequently asked questions. I really highly recommend if you do have a question, first, before you just email us and inundate us with hundreds of emails, you can come in here. If you're trying to figure out, you can't get in to get Discord. Well, we got the info right here. You can email us down here at the contact us if you have a different issue. Is there a premium Discord? How do I, does Bitcoin, you know, we've got all kind of different stuff in here. Membership, you know, how, is there a lifetime, you know, how much does it cost? Everything. How do I cancel? How do I change? Indicators. We got all the stuff, all the answers in here for you. So check out the FAQ page once it does go live. Come over to the courses page, go to view all, and you can see we have the Bitcoin 101, blockchain 101, crypto beginners, self-custody, all these free courses. Of course, we have all of these, each one of these other courses that we have specific lessons that we are also releasing in this crypto beginners course. And when you want all access to really dive into, for instance, the candles course or on-chain, for instance, let me log in real quick. You want to get access to these, I just want to point this out to you all. Once you get access and you have all access and you want to go through all these different courses, you can come here right here. Just for instance, I'll just show you candles course. Once you open up the candles course, you know what? We turned off all the permissions right now as we're rolling stuff over. But you understand what I'm saying. When you go through, you're going to finish a video, and as you're finishing a video, there's going to be a quiz that auto-populates below the video to, you know, a couple questions after each lesson, and then there's basically a larger quiz or test that you get to go through at the end of each course to really make sure and check your work and make sure you understand what's going on there. So I just wanted to shout this out. We are rolling this over tonight, and you can sign up right here, and I'll say it once. I'm not gonna say it many times. You're gonna get it again in the email. Give me 30 off coupon code for 30% off both the indicators and the courses. If you're just doing the indicators, it's stack 30, I believe. And you will basically have some great access to all the new stuff that's coming out. Now, with that being said, I think we need to dive into, stack STACK 30 for 30% off the BitLab indicators. That coupon code will be expiring after these updates go live. So with that, let's go ahead and dive back into the charts. I just had to share, because there's so many people that have been waiting so long for these updates, and we've been working tirelessly to pull this all together. There's a lot of work that had to be done to migrate the membership databases over to the new site and all this stuff. So you're going to see a different website when you come to BitLab Academy. After tonight, when it basically is turned off for about 12 to 24 hours, and then once the site's back up, it's here for you, and I can't wait to share it with you all. Now, Bitcoin. this is what I want to point out. We got 144 likes, 226 people watching. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, ding that bell, throw a 1 in chat if you're already a BitLab member, throw a 2 in chat if you're about to join, throw a 3 in chat if maybe you're just gonna sign up for a free membership to see what it's all about and then maybe upgrade. Throw a 4 in chat if you already know absolutely everything and you don't need to learn anything. In that case, you're probably the #1 person that needs to learn. But let's talk about these charts. Okay, we got 45 minutes to do a bunch of TA. I see a lot of coins in here. I see Theta, I see Flux, I see ADA, KDA, who else we got? We got Algo. We got a bunch. We're gonna do a bunch. All right. So now we got our mesopic vision right here, showing the last 100 bars, point of control right up in this region. I like doing this. This is on. Let's do 125. There we go. It gives us basically the 125 just gives us 125 candle look back. We can see that there was a bit of a liquidity volume gap right here that painted this box. We can see prices come up and tap this multiple times. Even though we had this downtrend sort of level of resistance, we can see price came back up and broke through this 1, 2, 3 times. And this time, each time is a little bit less. Now this time did get the wick higher, but the bodies are basically same. And now we're getting a little less. And remember on Friday, I pointed out that we had this, although this was coming up, if you wanted it to feel bullish, this was coming up into this region right here. And this broke through, it felt like a breakout, but we also had to look at the context of these previous highs, and we did not clear these previous highs. All we did was tap this sort of liquidity gap right here and then break down. Not only that, we also had this rising wedge pattern, which I illustrated. One is a bearish structure and likely has a higher likelihood of breaking to the downside. And look at this. The second we had a candle break out of this, it really broke to the downside. Not only did it break to the downside, came down and retested this line right here, which we were even debating. Is it even a resistance line? Because look, these pushed out, this pushed out, this fell right through. But look, this line, by the way, was here Friday. It was here Thursday. It was here Wednesday. I had this line here for some time. Now we retested this resistance, which did act a bit as, I won't even call it support, because we broke through this. We never tested this as support. It immediately failed and just reconfirmed this as resistance. Came down. Now I want you to notice something. We've broken, let's go ahead and do daily. Let's go auto. We also have broken through this major resistance level that was acting as support, and we can see that we are kind of losing this level. Now we also have this parabola, this parabolic sort of line that we had created, and I want to point out that I did mention that this line was I mean, every line is a bit subjective, but parabolic lines that you create are even more subjective, because you get to pick, as an analyst, you get to pick where that line is. And remember, I identified the other day when I was talking about where this should go is somewhere in this region right here. Maybe this was it right here, because as soon as we broke this, we are falling with quite a bit of I don't want to call it certainty. It was a strong push to the downside. Now we can also do this a little bit more like this. Maybe we haven't broken this yet. We don't know, but we know in this region is an important region for price to hold at these levels, because we have this major level that goes all the way back to, let me move this so I can see what the heck I'm doing. This goes all the way back to September 2022, and we are losing this level. Now we have this larger sort of triangle that we have right here, this larger wedge. I want it to be a falling wedge, because a falling wedge is bullish. But looking at this, even though there's a little bit of an angle to it, maybe that's also just a subjective thing. This looks more like a descending triangle, meaning we have the resistance level is falling while the support level is essentially flat, or is very close to flat. Now we see this bearish divergences right here that have played out beautifully on the market intelligence, and this is still just showing weakness at these levels. So we have broken down, basically broken down into this wedge. We're kind of ping-ponging back and forth. The question is, what is going to happen here? How do we prepare in this scenario? Is this going to crash? Well, we've already mapped out our entire sort of chart. Remember, I completely redrew this map. We had another chart we were utilizing. I think it was this one, and it just got a little too busy. So I came over here to a BitGet chart. And on this BitGet chart, remember that's Bitstamp. Where are we at? on this BitGet chart, we really mapped out the levels we're really watching, and we can see that, remember, we had that CME gap that was right in this region down here, this 21,000 level. And we also have this liquidity gap that we see boxed out with the mesopic vision. Now, this indicator is not out yet. It'll be out in a couple weeks. But if we go to the larger view of the mesopic vision, this basically full volume range, we can see we've got gaps on this one as well. And we've got, if we look just at this one, it's outlining these zones. But at this level we're at right now, this is not the end of the world if we pull back. I personally think the healthiest thing for us to do at this level is for price to come down to this zone right here, tap this high, which is, you know, we have multiple highs at these zones, but it's also, it was sort of the gateway for this move for us to feel bullish. And isn't it funny that once, yes, this is where very aggressive and people directionally bias, we're bullish here. Well, yeah, we did continue going up, but in terms of the grand scheme of how markets play out, we have to take into account that we really need to test the resolve of the bears and the bulls. In this case, we really need to test the resolve of the bulls and see how many more people we could shake out. How are there weak hands in this market? Is it too far? Is the ratio too high for longs that we're going to get washed out to the downside for a giant bull, basically giant bear trap to the downside? Or was this just one big bull trap to the upside? Well, what we're going to do here, what we need to do is understand these levels, these tops, and then also this sort of high volume area. Basically, we're not high volume. This contested area where we're getting a lot of rejection at the bottom and the rejection at the top, rejection at the bottom, support at the top, come into it, rejection right at the top. Okay, and now we came all the way through it. So these are the two levels I'm looking at if we do continue the downside. Now, if we're looking at this on the daily, I do want to point out that with the new relative extrema, and if we bring that up, now I do want to point out with the new relative extrema, we can see with all these updates, we can see when these bars are out to the downside, we can see it also paints the candle colors green. Now, because of this, I want to point out again, I said this last week, but I want to point out for everybody out there using the relative extrema, or if you're getting it today or you're getting it anytime soon, that this relative extrema is now integrated into the price action of the candles on the chart. So because of this, I set mine up, and you'll have to do this yourself. Double click on your candles, and I changed mine for bullish to be green and bearish to be gray. And this is because there's a different sort of color scheme that happens with the relative extrema that's integrated into the price action. And we can see essentially these candles being green falling. Well, why is that? Why would they be green if they're bearish? Well, because what this is signifying is that these candles, although the price action is moving to the downside, the relative extrema bars are showing that the price action is not supported to really have bearish follow through to the downside. AKA, if there's any sort of structure that you're in, that the price action will likely arrive at that structure and potentially reverse. So we can see the relative extrema is sticking out to the downside outside of this healthy aggregate momentum wave, which we can see right here. This is a shaded wave. Anytime that these bars stick to the outside, this is the healthy move where the buying and selling pressure and the volume is supporting the move in that direction. So you're seeing a very healthy display of where momentum is moving in the market based on the health of the supporting momentum and buy and sell and pressures in the market. So when you have bearish action to the downside, very strong bearish action to the downside, but it's like whether it's forced liquidations or price getting pushed that far versus actual healthy buying or selling. In this case, this is unhealthy selling. That's not really supported by the volume. That's not really supported by the underlying metrics that you measure to see healthy moves in a market. And we can see the second we have a bar to the outside, we get this green arrow. The second we have a bar to the outside on the up move, we get this red arrow. And we can also see we have this on the bottom right corner, which is this bullish, sort of bullish, neutral, or bearish info window that's showing the last candle. There's bullishness building in it because there's not enough bearish pressure to sustain that move. Now, could it go down further? Very well so. But we're also coming into a key level that we're looking at. And so I'm not going to look at the relative extrema specifically as the only sort of signal in the market. We're going to utilize this along with our other indicators, especially within the BitLab trading stack. We can see right here, this is falling, right? So we see these are gray because I turned my bearish candles to gray. Now this is a bearish price action candle because it is falling, but it's green because we can see right here the relative extrema is sticking out of the healthy cloud. We see right here, price action coming down. This flips green because the relative extrema is sticking out of the cloud. Now, as you can see right here, price action falls. And although this would have flagged bullish down here if we were looking when these candles printed, the other thing about this is there's no other agreeing signals in this. We have no bullish divergence on the volume. This is neutral. This was red coming into it, and this is only neutral. So we have nothing to support that it's just that this bearishness is going to reverse to either consolidate or reverse to the upside. So what we would do is we were patient and we let the price action continue to do what it does. And if we think about it, this isn't scary because this is giving us a better buy opportunity. Now this flips back gray. And once it comes green again, it becomes green also in line with where this the BitLab significant movement, the aggregate overvalued red or undervalued blue, meaning likely trend cycle top forming or likely trend cycle bottom forming on the very small time frame, this trend cycle I'm talking about here. So as this is gray and this is showing some underlying bullishness, this is also saying, okay, price is falling. Okay, let's look at the metrics. Let's look at all the signals. Once we get to a sort of confluence of some sort of price level from previous tops or a support trend line here that we already confirmed this is support. So this is coming back into this level and we can see this flips back green and this is showing undervalued likely trend cycle low forming for this trend right here. And okay, now if we turn on market intelligence, it is on, but I have it to only show the last divergences. That way it doesn't make the chart very messy. And we can see as this came down, then we got this signal we should be looking. We got the bullish divergence and we have the trend cycle low. This would have been an easy buy with a tight stop loss right about where this support level is. Now, in this case, if we move this line over, and I'm gonna bring this down to where the price action is today too. If we break this down to, let's say, the 1 hour, and we come back all the way over here to where we were, we can see now. If we're looking at the daily, but we're trying to look at a smaller time frame, or let's go to the 2 hour. 1 hour looked great, but 2 hours, okay. So looking at the 2 hour, okay, we see we're coming into this level. We see underlying bullishness because this flips green. So we're looking for other signals. Now, this is still gray. This doesn't flip back green on the relative extrema, which we can see in the chart now. We don't always have to look down, but we can see that the momentum is starting to come up on the relative extrema, right? The momentum is coming up as price is still falling. Bullish divergence. We get a money flow divergence right here. We're coming into a key level and we have the blue wave. So excellent signal right here between all of the indicators. Now, if we come down to the 1 hour and look at that same zone, we can see coming into the same zone. This is why it pays to go across multiple different time frames on any indicator set that you're using so that you can get deeper resolution on what's going on. You see, we fell and we didn't get the bullish divergence. Sorry, we didn't get the bullish signal on the relative extrema, which it would have said bullish right here, and you would have seen these bars sticking out, which you can see right here. They started sticking out right here. I know this because one, the candles are green on the price action, but this little marker, this green dot right here shows this is the first bar where the candle's sticking out. So now I'm looking, I set my buy order somewhere in the region right about where the this support level is. So excellent signal here, and we get the bullish divergence right down here on the hidden volume. So this was an excellent setup that identified a great buy. Now, when we come, and by the way, we have a bunch of updates coming to the BitLab Market Intelligence, some updates with its EMA ribbon to make it very visually, you immediately know bullish, bearish. We're going to have we have a lot of good stuff that we have that's rolling out in a matter of days. We've already, by the way, if you do have the relative extrema, do this, come down here, delete it from your chart. Okay. If you don't have the updated version, come back over here, search, come down to invite only scripts, come to BitLab relative extrema, reload it. And when you reload it, it will load the new version of this. So that's how you get it on your chart. And then again, you can mess with what other color schemes you want. Double click on the candles. I like white and gray. That way I know white is bullish, gray is bearish. without any, is basically neutral on the relative extrema. And then when you see green identifying a buy setup, which is how candles should already be anyway, and this is informed by the relative extrema showing unhealthy bearish move, AKA a buy is likely coming, a reversal is likely coming. And pink, similarly, if we come, let's go to the 4 hour and we see pink. You see this? Pink is when the relative extrema is sticking out to the upside. Look at this, pink, and we get the red wave showing overvalued, relative extrema is out, and we're coming into a level. Clear sell. We come right here. We did get 5 bearish divergences, but we didn't get any. The relative extrema was still healthy, so we did consolidate a little bit. So maybe depending on how aggressive you were, this could or could not have been a sell. Now coming further up, we get the little pullback, buy brewing, a buy setup. It may be coming. We can see right here with the relative extrema, and then as this pushes up, we get the pink candles, bearish divergences. And followed very quickly right after. Maybe you didn't take it there, but maybe you took it right here. Bearish divergence on the hidden volume, and you could have just rode this out because there was no real clear buy signals. And then this would have just, you would have been out. You would have been out from back here, and maybe bought again right here. Rode this all the way up. Yeah. So you get my point. We're using confluence of multiple different things. Question, is there an invalidating point for the divergence to play out? Like the divergence has to be within a certain amount of sessions? Well, for me, divergences are but one signal that I use in concert with what's happening with price action. So as we see right here, we had bearish divergence. We had bearish divergence here on this candle, and the next candle is not only bearish divergence, but we also had the relative extrema painting a pink candle, showing a likely unhealthiness in the bulls, likely reversal brewing. The next candle, for me on this, I would have taken a trade, not just because I saw these. If you are going to be, if you're trying to be somewhat conservative with how you're trading, then we get bearish divergence. We get the relative extremas out. We can tell this is unhealthy because these are pink. And we also have overvalued red, okay? And we have bearish divergence on hidden volume. So I would have taken a trade, probably I would have waited until we broke below this candle body low, because we've seen a lot of sort of inconsistencies with price action and a lot of movement. So the conservative side of me, if I was scalping, I would have done it on a very small time frame and taken, basically, as this pushed up, I would have taken just a very quick trade. God, dang it. Why is this not working? There we go. I would have taken a very quick trade on this push up there on leverage, and something in this region with a tight target. That's a scalp trade. But trading this for position to strengthen my position, when this broke down and broke below this low, this candle wick right here, as soon as this opened and broke below this low, I would have had a stop limit buy order right here and taken advantage of this down to this level. So this would have been, just if you're just trading spot, this would have been that would have been a 5% move on spot. On any small amount of leverage, this move becomes very big very quickly. And that would have been conservative too, because you're seeing that the price action is reversing. We get all the signals and then the follow through on price action. Now, where we're at today, let's talk about where we're at today. We got 216 people in here, 171 likes. Let's hit those like buttons. I'm going to take my face off so we can see this chart. Now, where we're at today, we have broken below this line, but we can see this line looks like it might be a little obscured, not obscured, but this line, this support line, trend line may be more regional based on how it was drawn in the past. So I'm not going to look at this chart and say, oh, we broke it, we're going down, because we see right here, we broke below it, held above it, broke back below it, and then broke back above it. So I'm looking at this region really, if we break below, if we break below this sort of low, I'm looking at this region right here, this 27,000 region, as my stepping stone. If this doesn't get bought up really quickly and then go for another bullish try, then I'm looking for a target down to this 25,200-ish level. Now, we do have bullish divergence. This is a 4 hour, and look, this is forming blue, and the relative extrema was out coming into this. So this setup was, these green candles was identifying that a likely sort of consolidation was coming, because we didn't have any other signals yet. until we got the blue sign and the bullish divergence right here. Now coming down on the 1 hour, we can see bullish divergence is forming. We got a little bit, if we zoom in on this, we have a little bit of a W pattern here. What do I mean by W? We've talked about this. Bearish attempt, bullish reversal. Bearish attempt again, doesn't get as low. This is a regular sort of, this is a regular sort of reversal pattern for smaller trends, larger trends too. But in this case, if we do get rejected here in this EMA ribbon, then this very well could come down, because we can see, look at this bullish attempt. This is why you use all things in concert. W pattern shows likely bottom for this trend, maybe reversal to the upside. Now, the blue undervalued has now flipped back to gray, and the relative extrema is now showing pink, indicating that the bearish strength is actually coming in, because this bullish attempt, we didn't barely even broke this level, and there's the bullishness is unhealthy. So this is letting me know that the price is likely going to retest this region right here, 27.7, 27.750. If we lose this level, I'm looking for 27.225. Now, that's what I'm seeing right now with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does, because we do have this on the 4 hour, we do have this blue, and we have these long wicks. If we look at it just in this context, if we do, this is rounding. If we look at, if this does start pressing up, I'm looking at not getting rejected in this region right here. This region right here. Not getting rejected in the 28.1 to 28.2 level. And if we're able to break through that, then I think we'll make another try up here for 28.7. And we're gonna do this on the smaller sort of look at what's going on. Now, shout out Alexander G. Cheers to Kelly and all the new BitLab Academy rollout. Oh, thank you so much, Alexander G. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that's here on the channel on a regular basis as well. Now, pulling this out, and thank you again for the super chat. It warms my heart each time we get a super chat. It's you all going out of your way and I appreciate everybody being here on the channel. Thank you very much. Now, let's go ahead and do a bunch of TA. We're doing it. What is it? Is it the Turbo TA section? We broke down Bitcoin today. Now, one thing I want to look at though, which by the way, if you have not yet, make sure you come over to BitLab Academy, the youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. If you're watching over at the Hit Network, come and check us out. Give us a follow. We're just shy of 7,000 people right now, 6,790-ish. Come give us a follow. But make sure, if you have not yet, it's on our community page as well, I believe. Yeah, no, that's not it. I thought he posted it there. If you come over to the BitBoy Crypto channel and go to videos, I did an interview with Will Clemente that was released on Saturday. This is about an hour-long interview with Will Clemente. If you don't know who Will Clemente is, definitely check him out. This is definitely worth the watch. It talks a lot about what's going on in the markets, what's going on and on-chain, some signals and some useful tools that you can use. Just state of things. It's really, really great talking with Will Clemente. And shout out to Will. Thank you for doing that with us. So we decided to release it on the BitBoy channel so as many people as possible could see it, because it's just great to have Will Clemente involved. And again, if you haven't yet, come over to the BitLab Academy YouTube page. Come give us a follow. And if you haven't yet, come and retweet. Follow BitLab Academy, add Academy BitLab, retweet and like. You get entered to win some stuff. Yeah, so we're going to do Cardano. All right, everybody, we're doing the Turbo TA section. Let's strap in our chairs. Everybody, stretch your back. Oh, we're going to break down as many as possible. Let's do it. My face goes off the chart for this. Let me take a deep breath. Let me get a sip of water. All right, Cardano. Well, we had this sort of, let's go ahead and let's go to, we're going to do everything on the 4 hour because we know the context of what's going on the macro. So looking at the 4 hour, wow, I'm just seeing this. This is actually nice. Yeah, so we have this resistance level that's been trending down, of course. Option T gives us our trend line. We can see, this is not correct. This looks, oh yeah, look at this. Rejection, 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 support, support, support. Now we're coming into support again. Look at this. So this is why it's good to look on a daily basis at your charts and reevaluate, reassess, redraw. And if we zoom in on this, We can see, look at these wicks, boom, 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 3 in a row. Now, remember, I pointed this green box the other day because I told you this was an area that I was going to be buying, and I did have some orders hit on these. And I planned this out when we were somewhere in this region up here about this level. Now, why this level? Who knows why this level? Well, let's look at this zone right here. Support, support, projected out, support. Now, some things don't cut all the way down to that level that you're looking at. So there's a region. You set up a region, and this is why I had this region here. Now, coming into this region, make sure. Question from Crypto Kid. Shout out to you, my brother. It said, BitLab Academy is ADA forming a massive head and shoulders, 30-cent target. Thanks and I thought I said thanks and Kazaa. Thanks, Kels. All right, so we could see. We're going to talk about that in a moment. So we could see these setups for a change in. So this was a fall, and then we consolidated. This was a fall, unfounded, little relief. This was a fall, bounce, and what I'm putting out is a green relative extremas on the candles. See this reversal? See this? A slight reversal, stair step, and then fall down. Green into blue, undervalued. We had bullish divergence leading into this before. So there was interest coming in above this level, and we had this larger trend line that we knew that was at the zone, and then we get the bullish divergence of MACD and the MACD histogram, which is kind of the same thing. One just moves a little faster than the other, just by the way the histogram prints. So now coming down on the 1 hour, look at this. So this is looking like it's going to have another attempt to the downside because we have bearish divergence on the BitLab market intelligence. We have the relative extrema. Come on. We see the relative extreme with candles are red. So we know that these are out, and look how far out they are as well. Bearish divergence. And look, this is going up, but what is this telling us? There's bearish setup. We see this right here. Boom, boom. If you're not looking at where I'm pointing, this is where I'm pointing right there. It says bearish. And that is because these bars right here, these bars are sticking out, showing this is an unhealthy bullish movement. Now, if we were to zoom in on this and pull this up, and we come down like this, option F to the top, option F to the top to the bottom, we see that this did break through the golden pocket. Maybe this is going to test the 786 or this major line that we have right here, which was a previous low, and then get rejected down. That's a possibility. If that's the case, anything here or below, I'm basically stacking my buys on Cardano because I believe in Cardano. Throw if you own ADA, throw ADA in the chat. Let us know you own ADA. But if we can't hold this level, then I am looking at retesting down in this region down here, maybe even below where my current entries are, but that's okay. I am position trading. I'm only stacking to my positions for the longer term. You can have whatever strategy you want. This is not financial advice. That's what I'm doing. Now we can see this is, let's come down to the 1 hour. I'm on the 1 hour, 2 hour. Okay, yeah. So if we go to the top here, look at that. See, I zoomed out a little bit and realized that my fib was a little off. So the golden pocket actually is what we're kind of finding resistance at right now. So rejection here. Hopefully, what I'd like to see, double bottom and then continuation up. That would be down in this region, 36.4, 36.4 area, 36.4 to 36.6. If we lose this level, then we potentially could be going lower. Now, if we come out here let's go on the 8 hour, is this a head and shoulders? Well, this looks very much like a head and shoulders. Holy moly, yes, sir. We can see if we draw this, we got a little bit of a wonky shoulder, head, shoulder. Now, if I erase that, come here, option T, come down to the neckline, and we could see that. Boom. Is that going to be about a 30-cent target? If we do break down from here, it's very possible, but that also would give us a higher low, but it would be on the more bearish side of things. I don't know if we're going to get a test all the way down to here. I think if we do continue down, and if we see here, if we do retest this level and lose it, by the way, this is option T. This is right here a bullish structure because this is falling wedge met also with a head and shoulders, which is bearish. So you can see the confusion playing out in the charts. If this loses this level, what I think is most likely to happen If we lose this level for Cardano, I think price action will come down and test this region right around here, this previous low, option T or option J, I mean, wash out wick down here to 34 cents, and then continue up, into this region, basically wash out wick like this somewhere, maybe not all the way down here, but somewhere in this region, and then a continuation bounce, continuation, and then work its way back to the upside. That's what I'm seeing with Cardano. Now, let me go ahead and delete this. Now we're going to do Ethereum, because Ethereum's been performing quite well. So let's go ahead. We got 220 people in the room, 193 likes. Let's get those likes up. Now we got it. Look at this, Head and Shoulders. This is on the 8-hour. Head and Shoulders right here. This is just immediately, I'm pulling it up. Option T. We could just do this really quick. We've already kind of lost this level, and it looks like we're retesting it. If we were to break down from here, target would be around 1750. Now, this is on the 8-hour. Let's look on the daily. Man, it looks like a Head and Shoulders right here too, but then this is kind of played out. So now with this option T, it looks like we got a bit of a trend line forming here. Now, what's more, not impressive, but what I'm seeing here is a bit of a descending triangle with the, flat level of support. That's more important for what we're looking at right here. So it looks like there's a lot of room to compress into this. So let's come down to the 4-hour. We can see on the 4-hour, we're finding support each time we come to this level. Relative extrema is out. There's no bullish divergence. There's no undervalued. So I'm not seeing a lot of strength at this level, although we do see the relative extrema. We did have a bullish divergence on the relative extrema. The healthy cloud is pointing up though. So this is just looking uncertain. This is what Ethereum is looking like to me. But either way, if this were to test up, I think, we have these liquidity bands right here, these boxes. So if we were to test up, this is also perfectly in line, it looks like, with about where the golden pocket is. Look at that, golden pocket right where this band is. So if Ethereum were to push up to 1893, I wouldn't be ultimately super bullish yet until we broke above these boxes of open order block sort of issues that we see with these blue box here. So if we break above this, then of course we have to contend with 1964, which is this trend line that's been established, which I think is probably more likely than not that we would get rejected and come down. If we do break out of this, I would want to retest and then come to the upside. That's what I'm seeing with Ethereum. If this does break to the downside, we can see, I already showed you what the downside target was. Now, coming back, I'm going to set this back up where it was. Now, okay, now Avalanche, I said I was going to do Avalanche, Auto, 224 people. I appreciate each and every one of you. Now, let's see. Avalanche, 4 hours, looking like everything else. Now, we can see option T come through here. I'm trying. So this is looking a little bit like a trend line here, but not really. It's a little too experimental. So let's go here. Option T. There we go. That's what it is. So bounce, bounce, bounce. Looks like, so in this case, we have a trading channel. Yeah, we have a trading channel to the downside. Relative extreme is out. This is looking a little more bullish because we have the undervalued. Again, what do I mean by undervalued? Coming over here, if we look at our other indicators, see how the stochastics are very low. RSI is down below 40. We can see MACD. Come on. We can see MACD is starting to roll over, and there's several other momentum indicators that are included with the significant movement as well. But this is just showing that consensus that the momentum indicators are showing that the momentum indicators are in broad agreement of being undervalued, and likely reversal to the upside could be forming. And then we get the relative extrema showing green bars. This led us, before we even got here, that this would likely bounce once we got to this support level. We get the MACD bullish divergence. We had some bullish divergences on the hidden volume here, but as it stands now, it doesn't look like we found support here, but we haven't seen any sort of meaningful move to the upside. So I'd be really watching this. This very well could just sort of kind of bounce its way down. If this were to continue to the downside, my next target down would be this 1532 level, because this is a previous low right here. So that's what I'm seeing with AVAX. If this were to go to the upside, first step first, option F, come down here, price action bounce. if we can't get above 1633, then this is just essentially a bit of a bear relief, only to set higher targets for shorts to continue down. If we are able to break through this, then we're going to look at the 1680 and then 1772 sort of area next, 1740 to 1770 next. Now that's AVAX. Now let's look at XRP. Okay, XRP look like it's falling like a stone. And look at this. These are these lines, everybody. These are the lines. I didn't put these on before this show. I'm doing this TA live with you all right now. But you know what? You know why my charts are prepared is because we've done this TA before and found levels, and we've left them on our charts. And now as price action broke down, looking at this right here, we saw this level lost. Well, where is price going to go? Well, all we had to do is zoom out. If we come out here on the 3-day, we can see previous high, major high, low. We could see this. So we knew that we had a target in mind when we're looking at price. Did this fall through it? Sure it did. You know what it did? It gave opportunity. It's showing us that there's some underlying bullishness here, but also that there was just exuberance and sort of cascading, I don't call it liquidations, but there's cascading sort of liquidity pushing the price down that then got bought up really quick. So this actually looks more bullish than some of the other charts that we've seen because this had such a long wick. This candle body, half this candle is a wick. So this does, though, at the same time, if we looked at this on, let's say 30 minutes, it does look a bit like a bear flag. But this is looking kind of ugly. Almost looks like a diamond. What do I mean by diamond? I mean up like this. You see? That's a terrible drawing. Terrible drawing. Diamonds are potential reversal patterns, but the thing about diamonds, and I hate to say this, diamonds can also be continuation patterns if there's strength in that move. And this is what I mean by diamonds. So you have it narrow, like very tight, and then gets very wide, and then gets very narrow. So whichever direction this breaks is likely the direction this is going to continue. So if we were to zoom out on this, oops, sorry, where were we at? Cardano, let's go to 4 hour. Now, this is looking very undervalued on the 4 hour, relative extreme out. If we were to lose this level, is it going to go all the way down to here? Well, let's sort of back out. Let's back out of the chart. And we can see this level is a fib. So we're sitting, look at this. We fell below this golden pocket. And we're at this key level. If we lose this level, look at this. Where are these candle bodies? Look at this. Candle bodies is where the wick went to. Isn't that crazy? So if this were to lose this level, yeah, I think if we lose this level, we're coming down to the 41 cent and then down to the 39 cent level. But I feel, if you want me to be honest, everybody, I feel like there's a little bit of hanky-panky going on in the markets right now with what's happening with the data and with where the markets are being pushed. I have a little bit, I don't want to call it a bullish bias. I think some of the bearishness that's happening right now is the washout characterization that we need for some of the weak hands that are in the space, that everybody, as soon as it goes down, they go leverage long. I do not recommend going leverage, trying to get leverage from the very bottom of this pullback. I recommend really being patient and letting the market take it step by step, especially until we get above that $32,000 level on Bitcoin. Now, a couple coins that we have not, I don't think we've ever looked at. Let's do KDA real quick, because I saw some people calling that one out. So KDA. Okay, so this is falling. Option T. This is a bit of a falling wedge that does look like it broke out. Does look like it broke out and tested it and came down. So let's sort of zoom out here. Let's get auto going. Okay, option J. We got a low here. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing. Let's go to daily. Yeah. So what I'm seeing here on Kadena is, we can see here on Kadena that if this may be trying to see, these are these previous lows that this is sitting at right now. You can tell by, oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. We can see this is Kadena. We can see that the previous low is right here. This is actually the low of this chart. And if the price, if this did get rejected, this is trying to attempt down. But it's very undervalued. This looks like a washout attempt to the downside. For me, I personally, and I have my own risk management strategy and everything, I would be a buyer anywhere in this region because I do think where we're at, I do think that there is a higher probability that markets are going to resolve in the near future to the upside. Now, we could see, and I like Kadena. Kadena's one that I actually am interested in getting when it dips into these levels because I do not have it in my portfolio yet. But it's something that I'm very interested in. And we can see option T. Let's do a bit more of a major trend line here. This is what I'd be watching. Once this does resolve back to the upside, having some resistance here. Once we come to this is going to be our major resistance point, $1.25. So you can see we're all the way down here at 8 cents or 84 cents. That'd be a big move. 84 cents. So once we get up to this level, we got moves from this level to the next high, 31% to the next high, 66% to the next high, 135. What I'm doing is I'm looking at these previous highs as to what those levels are going to be. So Kadena is very interesting in that regard. Now, let's just look at Pepe because everybody was talking about it so much. We can see right here, look at this bull flag. This played out perfectly. Option T. I do not recommend being a buyer of Pepe. I'm doing this for entertainment purposes only. We didn't quite, let's see. Just to show you that, okay, we're going to do it from this level right here. And we can see that this basically almost perfectly got hit. If this were to go again, this would put Pepe all the way up at 4 zeros and then almost 1, 2. And we're down here at 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't even know. I think that's 5 zeros. But this would be a pretty large gain if it were to happen. But the question is how fast this came up. Again, I am not saying go and buy this. I'm showing this is what people are doing and they're buying this expecting they're going to get that run. I think what's likely to happen is that there's going to be a liquidity grab out of this because there's a lot of liquidity that came out of traditional, the digital asset ecosystem, Bitcoin, Ethereum. It's not new people coming in and buying. The majority of the money that went into this to fuel this run was coming out of people taking money out of other assets. At some point, this was a lot of gains a lot of people made. There's going to be a larger washout. Of course, this was about 31% down, 50% down. Holy moly, see? Just on that move. Now, is this setting up to absolutely go to the moon? I personally am on the side of caution with this. I have zero invested in this. This is showing that there is somewhat of a bullish setup in terms of this candle, but I do think it's more likely than not that Pepe is going to have, it's going to wreck a lot of people. So while you can do TA on it, TA on a coin that is so new is very, very hard to grasp. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to do that giveaway. So get over there, retweet some stuff. And the giveaway is for last week, by the way. So, cause I didn't do it on Friday. So I need to sign in. We're doing it right now. And remember, if you haven't yet, make sure you go check out bitlabacademy.com. Sign up today. Use that give me 30 off coupon or stack 30 for the indicators. bitlabacademy.com/indicators for the indicators. Stack 30, you get 30% off. But get involved with the new BitLab Academy before we go live because the prices are going up for BitLab Academy. If you get in before then, you get to keep the current price of the Academy, which is only $29.99 for the life of your account. Now I'm going to log in here and we are going to do the drawing right now. Where is it at? Okay, copy. And if you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. I appreciate each and every one of you. Now we're going to, we're kind of putting this in right here. Oh, you know what? All right, I'm going to do the first one first day you all say, what day last week should we draw from? I'm going to let you all pick the first day that I see written out in full, not just the acronym. First day you all have written out is the one I will do. It's the first one that's written in chat. Come on, bud. Come on. I'm waiting on you all. I know it's probably about a 20-second delay. Wednesday. All right, Wednesday. So what was Wednesday last week? So it was, this is today. This was Saturday, Friday. This was Wednesday because I did, oh, no, this is Thursday. This was Wednesday. Yeah, copy link to tweet. So we are doing it. We are doing the giveaway. This is going to be 1 month free courses, 1 month free indicators. You get both of them today. Let's see. And you have to like, where's it at? So we're going to do it right here, and should also like the tweet, should follow. I can't do that. So should like the tweet, get Twitter data. Oh, man, dang it. Authorize. See who won. 1 month free indicators, 1 month free Rodrigo Fognat. Screenshot Alex Green or Alexander G. Send that to me in the Discord. You got 1 month free indicators and courses. Big love to everybody. I've got to go. I got to talk about some stuff over on BitBoy Crypto. So I'll see you there. I really appreciate every single one of you. On your way out, where's my mouse? On your way out, make sure, God dang it. On your way out, make sure you hit that like button. You hit that subscribe button, you ding that bell, and I will see you in the next video. And new BitLab Academy is coming out overnight. So I'll see you later. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here again. BitLabAcademy.com. Hit that like button, sucker.